All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, laboring in His truth in all sincerity. Haggai, chapter 1, verses 4 through 7, NLT. Why are you living in luxurious houses while my house lies in ruins? This is what Yahweh of heaven's army says. Look at what's happening to you. You have planted much, but harvest little. You eat, but are not satisfied. You drink, but are still thirsty. You put on clothes, but cannot keep warm. Your wages disappear as though you were putting them in pockets filled with holes. This is what Yahweh of heaven's army says. Look at what's happening to you.
No, because it's really getting to a point. It's really getting to a point. Every time you leave your house, $50. Pay, buy, purchase. Payment. Fuck! Gotta buy books. Gotta pay rent. You look up. You out of toothpaste. The next day you go get toothpaste. You out of soap. You go buy soap. Now you out of deodorant. You looked at your gas tank and you only have 5 miles left. The first is Monday. The first is Monday. It was just the first. It was just the first. I need a cigarette. I need God himself to come down and hand me 30 bands right now. This life. And then it wanted to do all of this when I become the adult. When I'm a grown up. Because I could have sworn back when I was 12, my mama was buying houses for $6. Grandma them paid 50 cents for their house, their down payment. I can't even live with roommates for rent $1,000. Gas $50. Every time you pass my gas station, look at the price of the gas. $3. Is this California? What?
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. That's from Haggai chapter 1, verse 7, KJV. Consider your ways. And I'm starting to see more and more videos like this, primarily from the so-called white man, white woman, and the so-called black woman. Whites in this country are just now really starting to understand Deuteronomy 30:7. Yahweh thy power will put these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. But for black women, you're just now really starting to understand and learn what humility is. And before I go any further, let's look at the definition of humility, because it's a far cry from what we've been hearing these past few years, these past few decades, in fact, when it comes to so-called black women. But humility, the quality of having a modest view of one's value or importance. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the state of being humble. Both it and humble have their origin in the Latin word humilis, meaning low. Cambridge Dictionary, the feeling or attitude that you have no special importance that makes you better than others, a lack of pride. Humility definition according to E.Z. Lama. Humility is the quality of having a modest and respectful view of oneself. It involves recognizing and acknowledging one's limitations, weaknesses. Dictionary.com, the quality or condition of being humble. So you get the point there. And this is, once again, from the Latin origin humilis, meaning to be low. And like I said, this is a far cry from what we've been hearing from the so-called black woman. these past few decades. I'm a strong, independent black woman, and I don't need no man. I can do battle by myself. Black girls rock. Phenomenal black women. Vote like black women. Black women all over social media for like 5 years straight saying I'm living my best life. Calling yourselves goddesses, queens, boss bitches, bad bitches, baddies. You can't handle a woman like me. Just all of this. Even on the so-called holidays here, these women make it about themselves. They're wishing each other happy Father's Day on so-called Father's Day. These chicks have basically lost their minds and then turn around and call black men narcissists. That's called projection. You have never heard any so-called black men speaking in unison saying we're strong, independent black men and we don't need no women. You've never heard anything like that. But back to that definition of humility, meaning to be brought low. So let's look at Isaiah chapter 3, verses 18 through 24. And this is in the NLT. On that day of judgment, Yahweh will strip everything. He will strip away everything that makes her beautiful. Ornaments, headbands, crescent, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, veils, scarves, ankle bracelets, sashes, perfumes and charms, rings, jewels, party clothes, gowns, capes, purses, mirrors, fine linen garments, head ornaments, and shawls. Instead of smelling of sweet perfume, she will stink. She will wear a rope for a sash, and her elegant hair will fall out. She will wear rough burlap instead of rich robes. Shame will replace her beauty. And you have to be brought low. You started believing Esau's hype about you, not understanding or knowing about Isaiah 3 and 12. So if we scroll up to Isaiah 3 and 12, it basically says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. So the Most High Yahweh Bashem and Hawashai authorized that. He authorized this devil Esau Edom to elevate you over your man and to make you believe you don't need him. That was for our disobedience. This all falls in line with the curses. So most of you believe Esau Edom, and you still do. Think of all the things that we've had to hear. We've had to endure this over the past few decades as well. Black women are the most educated demographic. Black women are the fastest group of new homeowners. Black women are the fastest rising group of new small business owners. Black women are the backbone of the community. Black women lead. You brought that hype. You believe the serpent. Genesis 3 and 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. After all these years, after all these lifetimes, you still haven't learned. After all these church services, right? After all those Sunday morning services, then Sunday evening communions, then Wednesday night prayer, then Friday night revivals, you still haven't learned. So the black church didn't teach or help prepare you spiritually for this present day right here. The funny thing is, most brothers already been where you are. We know what it's like to be the last hired, first fired. We know what it's like to have our checks garnished with child support, and then you start facing jail time because you might have fell in arrears or something like that. We know that feeling. We know what it's like to, 2 days out of the week, you got to eat tuna fish. Another 2 days, you might not eat anything. You look in the back of your cabinet, you happy that you still got maybe 1 or 2 cans of sardines up there. We still understand this. This society, believe it or not, has humbled black men to a certain degree, authorized by the Most High Yahweh Bashem and Hawashai. We understand what this society can do to you. It elevates you and it can bring you crashing down. We've been there. We understand this. A lot of you women have forgotten that. Or this is your first time that you're really having to endure this. You're really having to go through this struggle. So that's what you're seeing in that video right there with that young woman crashing out, you know, because let's not pretend like you women, like y'all don't go out there and pay $10 to $15 per fingernail and per toenail. You know, you rather pay these Koreans $200 to $300 to paint your nails. Like, when did black women stop painting their own fingernails and toenails? When did y'all stop doing y'all own hair? When did y'all stop cooking? I heard some black women say, you know, they don't like breastfeeding because it hurts. And you know, that led me to, you know, think of Job 39:16, right? And so Job 39:16, she is harsh toward her young, as if they were not her own. She doesn't care if they die. You know, when did black women all get this idea that y'all have to be pampered, right? So, you know, a lot of these chicks, you know, all you really care about is money, going on trips, going on cruises, getting your hair and your nails done. You know, y'all really believe y'all are living y'all best lives right here in Babylon. Which leads me to Job 39:19. I'm sorry, Job 39:17. For God has deprived her of wisdom. He has given her no understanding. You know, so you chicks are just lost. Y'all are lost out here. And I'm looking at this girl in this video. She's in a nice car, got the exotic color weave or wig in her head, some rings and bracelets on, you know, no telling how much those glasses cost that she's wearing. You know, and that's what made me think of that scripture in Haggai that I started off with. If I can go back there for a second, Haggai, I read chapter 1, verses 4 through 5. Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses? In this house lie waste. Now therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. And we already know where this is headed. You know, Isaiah 4:1. Because I'll be honest, you know, if this sister was to come up to me and be like, let me be called by your last name to take away my reproach, I probably would be like, you know, that's what's up. You know, but you gotta do something with that stuff in your hair and that septum ring first, you know. But I mean, I do understand your plight and all, but you gotta be teachable first, you know, before we can make anything like that happen. And I'm just being honest, you know. So with that, I'll end it with Psalms 37:18 and 19 out the KJV. And that one says, Yahweh knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. I pray that this has been edifying and reaches the ears it's supposed to reach. Shalom.